Alright, hi, hello. Today we are going to be reading more Reddit stories. This time, I'm gonna go with straight Reddit stories, or stories that are kind of queer, but about straight people. The first story I saw on a thumbnail, and I decided I had to read it. Okay. My 28 male husband, 27 male, just came out as straight. So we've been married for 3 years and dated for about 2. In total, 5 years of a gay relationship. We're 2 men, have always been 2 men, and I don't think that's going to change anytime soon. My husband and I have had a rather healthy relationship for the most part. Of course, we have minor arguments every now and then, but what relationship is perfect? In the end, we always resolved them, and our affection would continue as normal. This is kind of why I'm really confused by what's going on with us. Why now? I'm a Christian. I know a lot of people don't like the idea of that, but gay Christians do exist. My husband was agnostic, not necessarily an atheist, just wasn't completely on board with any religion. And that's fine. I would have supported him if he found peace in literally anything. He didn't need to become a Christian, and honestly, as selfish as this sounds, I wish he didn't. I know this makes me sound like a terrible person, but he changed so drastically afterwards, and I miss the man he used to be. It was a slow start. He asked me about verses from the Bible, we went to church, he even fasted for Lent. Christmas this year was much more than just presents, and I was happy that I had this piece of me to share with him now. I was raised religious and struggled with my identity. If it weren't for other queer Christians, I would have left Christianity. I was glad that I still had these things we could bond over, but it kept ramping up. All of a sudden, he's going to church more than I am, which is perfectly fine. He's always carrying a Bible with him and will randomly cite a verse when we're having political discussions. I've noticed his views have started to shift towards the right as well. And recently he retweeted someone saying, "Your body, my choice. You're a twink. Women's reproductive rights don't concern you in the slightest." It kept ramping up. He started agreeing with the whole LGBT minus the T crowd and started spewing harmful rhetoric about drag queens as if we weren't friends with a bunch of them. When I told him that the drag queens are much less likely to harm children than some pastors, he lost his shit saying I was a heathen and that his friends were right. This is the part that caught my attention. What friends? I asked him what he meant by that, and he started backtracking, saying he was tired and that we should go to bed. I was tired, and arguing didn't seem like it'd do us any good right now, so I put a pin in it and got ready for bed. Our room has a bathroom connected, and usually we keep the door open. He takes a shower and makes sure to lock it, which is weird, but I didn't say anything about it. If he wants to set this boundary down, that's fine, but he could at least communicate it, you know? The next day is a Sunday, and he's already out of bed, and I'm assuming at church. I get up and get ready, but once I arrived, I realized he wasn't there. That confused me, so after the service, I called him asking where he was. He tells me he's in church, but I told him I was there too and didn't see him. He clarifies he means the other. I'm not going to say the denomination because I don't want to cause any arguments at church. This is news to me because he never brought it up and still carried our Bible. I told him to send me the address and I'll pick him up so we can get brunch, but he tells me he doesn't want his friends seeing me. That hurt. I asked him if we could at least meet up and he said he'll see me at home. After a few hours, he finally comes home. He says that we need to talk. I agreed. I wanted to ask him why he didn't want his friends seeing me, and as I opened my mouth to ask the question, he said, "I'm straight." I stared at him for a bit, and he continued explaining that his church helped him realize that he wasn't going to see the kingdom of God if he continued living in sin, and that he needed to leave me as soon as possible. He told them about the pastor comment I made last night, and they said that I was the devil trying to lure him away from Christ. He started repeating a lot of the same rhetoric I heard from other Christians growing up, and it really upset me. He even said that I could be saved, and that I already had the traditionally masculine look, and that I needed to steer away from homosexuality. I feel I'm in an alternate reality right now. I'm being told by the love of my life that I'm a devil that needs to return to Christ because I shut down his homophobic rhetoric. My gay husband is being homophobic. I'm sorry, but not once in the 5 years we've been together did he realize he was suddenly straight. It just doesn't work like that. It's not like we're in some other universe where the homo is a thing, right? I told him that he needed to leave and that we could discuss arrangements afterwards. I still want him, I love him, but I have no idea how he could look at me with a straight face and tell me all of that. He started arguing, saying that he didn't want to leave and that we could be friends, so I told him that I wouldn't be friends with a self-hating queer for the life of me. He packed a bag and left. His location shows that he's at some random's house that I've never been to, but I assume that's one of his churchgoer friends. I don't even know what I'm supposed to do from here. Did I seriously just lose my husband? I don't understand how this could happen. What can I do now? I miss him already. Someone said, Was he straight when he was gargling your balls? And the OP says, it took everything in me not to say some messy shit like this. He should have said some messy shit like that. Someone else says, I'm sorry you're going through this. Does he exhibit any other changes? For example, disordered thinking, grandiose talk, difficulty sleeping. He might be in the middle of a mental health crisis. My relative, before his psychotic break, hospitalization, and treatment, went through a couple extreme personality changes. I highly recommend talking to a mental health professional, both for him and for coping strategies for you. OP says, I haven't noticed any different patterns besides needing more privacy, i.e. locking doors when he changes, changing his passwords, and leaving the room for phone calls. I would think he was cheating, but now it's clear he's just trying to push me away. So basically, this dude lost his husband, to religion or Christianity or whatever else. Look, I have a lot of opinions on religion in general. I am like spiritual, I guess. Most of my beliefs align with Buddhist beliefs, so I do say I'm Buddhist to a certain degree, because I believe in reincarnation, I believe in soulmates, I believe in karma. I love the idea that Buddhism puts an emphasis on sense of self and like self-actualization and improving yourself. So I don't know if self-actualization was the right word to say. It just sounded fancy. Okay, anyways, I'm not going to be very specific with this because I don't want this person to see it. My abuser actually was extremely religious. And I went to church with them one time, okay? And we stood there for literal hours singing Jesus musics. I am overweight. I was overweight as a kid. I did not want to be standing for 2 fucking hours. Then again, who wouldn't not want to be standing for that long? Like, who would want to stand for that long? I know I wouldn't. I would stand in like a line for something important that long, but not like to sing fucking music. We can sing and sit down. Jesus will not mind if we are sitting down. But there's also that side of religion that's kind of decent, like the sect is there? I don't know. The part of religion my family was really chill, really I went to church once, we sat there, talked about Jesus things, hallelujah, whatever the thing is. Every group, not just religion, not just anything, every group has extremists and then just like chill fucking people. But the thing is, Update. Thank you to everyone who gave me genuine advice on my last post. I'll quickly answer some common questions. No, he does not have a family history of bipolar disorder or any other mental health disorder that would cause sharp changes. No, he isn't cheating on me with one of his church friends, but I will get more into this later. No, he isn't bi, I'm bi, and we've had conversations and he said he experimented in high school, but it wasn't for him. I talked to his family and our friends. Oh yeah, throughout this whole thing, I was like, where is his family? Where are the people who are supposed to know about, anyways, we'll find out what his family is saying. I hope that they are fucking shocked. I hope they're not holier than thou people. I don't think he would contact the husband's family if they were super religious. But I talked to his family and our friends about the whole thing. I explained we were separating because of his newfound faith and how he's acting. I told them about the shit he said, and they're all worried for me. I don't think that I'm in any sort of danger, honestly. I did talk to my church about this, and they told me that the church he's attending is notorious for this sort of thing. One of them will show up after a service and wait outside, and if someone is walking out alone, they'll come up to them and start chatting. They'll pretend to go here until they've talked to the person enough times to invite them to their church. Apparently he was attending my church even on days where I wasn't, so he was alone a lot. It's really fucking predatory, and it low-key pisses me off that he was enjoying my church and it led him to being taken away from me. I've had limited contact with him for the past few days. He came over last night saying he needed to talk to me. He didn't appreciate me contacting his parents and assured me that he is fine mentally. I wanted to start asking all the questions I've come up with since he left, but I didn't want to overwhelm him. Why? He's being a dick. Sorry. Anyways, I didn't want to overwhelm him. I know he didn't cheat on me because that was the first question I asked. More so, are you leaving me because there's somebody else? His response was that he didn't want to leave me, but living in sin wasn't what he wanted anymore. How did he figure this out, you ask? After grilling him for an explanation, he finally admitted that he tried to cheat. The guy who kept coming to my church and basically recruited him was apparently so attractive that he would listen to anything he said. So he tried to cheat, failed, and went the full 180 and has decided being gay is the ultimate sin. Not the fact that he tried to have an affair. This is actually going to drive me crazy. Finding out he wanted to cheat but didn't is almost worse because it's like, seriously, you tried and got rejected? That's embarrassing as shit for you and doubly embarrassing for me. I asked him if they knew he was married to a man and he simply told them I was his gay roommate who turned him. And now that he's straight again, I've gone off the deep end. He's an actual fucking liar. He showed me some Bible verses, ones that were just blatantly different from the ones in mine, and kept trying to convince me that I need to change too. He said that he still cares about me and wants to be friends. I asked him what about our actual friends, and he said that they're too far gone. He just kept talking, and I was done with it. He isn't the man I fell in love with, and it pisses me off. He wasn't even dressing the same anymore. Fucking white dress shirt and slacks and the most boring hairstyle ever. He didn't look like my Anthony. The more he talked at me, the more it was clear that I didn't want to be with the man he is now. He left, and for the second time in our life, he walked out the door without saying I love you, and I was fine with that. This morning I talked with my lawyer, and I'm going through with a divorce. After I was done, I stopped by where he was staying and knocked on the door, half wanting whoever owned this place to be there, and I give him the papers, half because I didn't want him coming to my home anymore. When the man opened the door, I realized this was who he was talking about, and it took a bit to keep my anger in. I asked for my husband, and when he saw me, look in his eyes made it clear that he wasn't expecting this out of me. I made it clear to the other guy that I was handing my husband, gay husband, divorce papers to end our marriage, the gay one between two men. Us. We're those men. Because I don't know who needs to hear this, but if you wake up next to a man for 3 years of your life, chances are you are homosexual. Sorry to break it to you. I won't be able to go into details of the proceedings themselves, but I'm going to completely distance myself from him as best I can. His actions have been horrible on my health, and his family and friends can handle him better than I can. I'm going to miss the man he used to be, but I have my people surrounding me. I'm going to be okay. I hope for his sake he'll snap out of this one day, because the self-hatred isn't healthy. But when he does, I won't fucking be there. I don't see any comments that OP responded to, but one that I see, hold on. He's not straight. He's going to marry some dumb church lady and hit up Grindr like the rest of the hypocrites. So glad you got your side of the story out there, because he's painting you as a villain in his. So on brand for these cults. My condolences, better is out there waiting for you. Okay, I did see when I went to his profile, I think there's another update. Okay, there's 2 more updates. One from 18 days ago, one from 17 hours ago. I'm gonna do the first one. Okay, they're surprisingly long. Things are getting better. Other than seeing my post pop up on every social media I use every few days, I've barely thought about the situation outside of therapy. I had a therapist for other reasons, but I've been going almost double the amount recently. I'm going out with friends more, and even started picking out my own hobbies. My ex and I used to do painting together, but Lord knows I don't want to see another paintbrush in my life. I picked skiing back up along with starting photography. I've made a few new friends through both of these, which is also great. In hard times, the right people are always sent to me, and I'm grateful for that. My pastor and I have been talking more than ever recently. I talked to him about my struggles, but there's only so much one man can do to help. I've refrained from rebounding or becoming some serial monogamist. As hard as it is being alone, I've started to feel some comfort. I'm in a new apartment and have cats. Oh, even though he said he wasn't going to fight for them, he still did. I really shouldn't take him at his word anymore. At least now I can live without someone micromanaging every little thing I do. Honestly, there's so much shit I want to complain about. Why did I let him make me block people I was friends with for no reason at all? Like, he'd say that he wasn't comfortable, but they'd literally have done nothing to evoke that feeling. I want to go on an unblocking spree and apologize, especially since a lot of them were my childhood friends. But I feel like an asshole popping back up after a while. Don't feel like an asshole, just do it. I literally couldn't go to the gym alone because he'd freak out thinking I was going to leave him for someone more jacked when he knew that he wasn't my type at all. And somehow when his girlfriends would make jokes that made me uncomfortable, it was okay because they know we're gay. First off, no he isn't, even if we are. First off, no it isn't, even if we are. Second, for years he ignored the fact that I was bisexual, and I never argued about it because I was like, you know what, I'm gonna marry this man and be with him forever, so whatever hypothetical woman I'm attracted to doesn't matter. I'm just looking back at how much disrespect I let him put me through and actually feel like an idiot. Nice little rant here, but anyways, shit's going well, I'll live. Also, just asking, please do not ask any investigative subreddits to find where I or my ex live. That's creepy as shit, and you need to get off Reddit. Might start randomly posting here as a personal journal or completely abandon this. IDK yet, LOL. And there's one more update. Short life update. Let's see if it's actually short. Oh, this one's actually this one's actually short. Short life update. Work is picking up, so I've mostly abandoned skiing, especially since I'd have to drive out quite a bit now. Photography is still going strong, and I've even attended a few pottery classes. Kind of weird, but I've sort of developed a crush on the guy leading the class. More so an admiration, like he's really cool, and I wish I could get to know him outside of pottery. But it's also just fun. But it's also fun to just have something to think about without acting on. My ex keeps trying to reach out, which is pretty annoying. Texts, emails, Insta. He's using different accounts after I blocked the last. It's just him saying he hopes my days go well and shit about being the Lord's plan for us and how he can't wait for me to see. It's honestly really tiring. I've shared a few with my pastor, and even he finds my ex's use of God to be just wrong. Most of the friends I reached out to responded, but only a few actually want to be friends again. I respect the others' decisions, and I hope that I can right my wrongs for the ones that do want me back in their lives. Also, I got a kitten. Kaiser and Mish loved him instantly, which surprised me. Albert, Whiskers, Little Meows are the cutest. I'm happy OP is doing better. I'm happy he has a crush on the pottery class. That I wish him the best. I have a feeling, based on how a lot of Reddit posts go, that he's gonna have to like put a restraining order out on this boyfriend if he keeps fucking trying to talk to him. But that's just my thought. When I hear someone's like making new accounts to contact someone after they've been blocked, that gives me the, oh, this is gonna be a problem kind of feeling. That's why I don't particularly like religion that much. Or I don't like extremes of religion, you know what I mean? I don't have much to say. That story is literally insane. But I saw the title and I needed to read it because that is an insane title and that's going right in the thumbnail. Okay, on to the Reddit app where we read it. Where we read it. My neighbor who thought I was gay my whole life so far found out I'm in fact straight the hard way. NSFW. What? Wait, where is the post? What is the post? It's just showing me the name. Hold on. Where is the post? Look, it just shows the name of the post and then comments. I want to see the, oh, found it. In case the story gets deleted / removed, here's an auto-moderator post. My neighbor who thought I was gay my whole life so far found out I am in fact straight the hard way. Hard way. I, 25 male, have grown up beside these neighbors, 50s female and 50s male, my whole life and close to their daughter, 24 female. Oh, I know what's gonna happen. The family's gonna find out he's straight because he's dating the daughter because they're like 25 and 24. We spent almost all of our time together. Her mom has always thought I was feminine, not quite right, and just funny. Bet she thought I was freaking hilarious last night walking in on me balls deep in her daughter. I came home to my parents' house from working out of state, and neighbor's daughter sees me pull in. We talked, reconnected, and decided to chill since her parents were out of town. She was house sitting. Rode around listening to music, smoking her up, dinner, a little, and Netflix and chill. One thing leads to another, and eventually had her legs hanging out. Nope, I'm not reading that. I've read so many smut fakes, but then I get onto these videos and everything that's in SFW, I'm like, nope. Okay, I'll read it, whatever. One thing led to another, and eventually had her legs hanging on my shoulders, making it sound like mac and cheese. Just say you had sex. Just say it like that. I don't need to hear these disgusting details. We didn't hear the door, but we heard the, oh my god. I'm diving for my clothes. Her mom's freaking out, and she's covering herself with a blanket. I go running out of the front door with bubble shorts on as her dad's carrying stuff to the door. I hopped into my car and drove off like a bat out of hell. Now I'm sitting here beside the lake in my car. Mom texted me saying the neighbors are furious and we all need to talk this out. My dad called trying to be stern, but knowing that we were both adults and grew up together, he's just said he's surprised that it didn't happen sooner. For first comment, yeah, we get it. You're an adult sex haver. You have sexy sex, so sexified. You could manage to be balls deep while simultaneously having her legs around your shoulders. So boob, much sex. You know, when Penthouse went bankrupt, I think it really took away public service by removing a way to keep these kind of fantasy brags in a segregated location. That story just... It's like one of those everyone clapped stories, like, and it's weird to me why the parents are freaking out and mad when they're both like 24. That makes no sense to me. I mean, maybe it's because they saw it, or well, that the mom saw it, but then again, like, getting upset about it, even though they are 24 and 25 years of age, and the parents were not supposed to be at the house. I don't know. I'm not going to think too much about the story because I feel like this is just a fake post, let's be honest. There was a post I saw the other day that I knew was fake because, hold on, I'm going to read the one that I thought was fake, okay? So I found this post on our copypasta, so I don't know if this is, I thought it was fake. I've seen people read this before. I'm like 90% sure this is fake, but I'm going to read it anyways. My 24 female, boyfriend, 30 male, keeps disappearing into the bathroom for an hour or more with a stick of butter, and the butter is gone when he finally comes out. I've been dating my boyfriend for 2 years, and we finally moved in together. Ever since we moved in, I have seen a new side of him. It's a very odd issue, and I can't wrap my head around what to do. At first, I started to notice butter was disappearing quickly. I assumed maybe I lost track of how much we had, or maybe he was cooking when I wasn't around, I don't know. But one night a few weeks ago, I saw him try to stealthily take a stick of butter from the fridge, which I pretended not to notice, and he took the butter with him into the bathroom. Now, I have noticed my boyfriend spending an hour or more of time in the bathroom since we moved in, but I never saw him take the butter before. I was so confused. When he came out of the bathroom about an hour later, I saw no sign of the butter, but I also saw he did not put the butter back into the fridge. It was gone. I would hope that he wouldn't bring the butter into the bathroom and then put it back in the fridge. Once something has hit the bathroom, you're not putting that back in the fridge. In my opinion, don't put it back in the kitchen. I tried to subtly keep an eye on him, and over a week he did this 3 separate times, and each time the stick of butter disappeared. Finally, I said one day, "Where did all our butter go? I hardly used any this weekend and it's gone." He pretended not to know and said maybe we forgot to buy it. I said no, we had 4 sticks before now and they are gone. He just acted like it was a mystery and said, "Guess we should order some groceries." By now I was getting very confused. So I ordered groceries and made a point of saying, "Good to finally have 4 sticks of butter. This should last us quite a while." He made no comment. On the first 2 days, whenever I used a small amount of butter, I would remark how much butter we had left. Finally, one day I saw him do it again. He took a stick of butter into the bathroom, was gone for about an hour or so, and came back with no butter. I couldn't believe it, so when I made dinner, I acted shocked that 1 stick of butter was gone. He said maybe we only had 3, but he knew I'd been making a point of it. The very next day, another stick of butter gone. I listened at the bathroom door and heard sink water running and thought I heard moaning noises. I was so confused. Finally, this time, when he came out, I said, "I know he has been taking butter into the bathroom." He got all flustered and said I might be mistaken, but I said I had literally seen him take butter into the bathroom and come out without it, and that I know he's been lying to me about the quantity of butter in the fridge. He started apologizing for misleading, but said, "Let's just not talk about it." And when he saw I was getting mad, he said, "What if I just order my own separate private butter?" I was like, okay, but what are you doing with the butter? He asked me to promise him to never ask about this. He asked me to promise him to never ask about his butter activities. Again, just to put it behind us. He said, "Just look the other way on this one thing," and stressed how it's not a big deal at the end of the day. It's not a big deal at the end of the day. I was like, okay, I guess. But I've been so confused and even disturbed about it. Like, what is he doing with the butter? Why is he lying about it? Why won't he tell me? I don't even think he's eating it because he's not an overweight guy, and I feel like if somebody ate that much butter, they'd become hefty, but he shows no signs of it. I am just like, who is this guy? Am I overreacting? It is just odd to see him in a different light, and I'm not sure what to do. Should I just ignore it? TLDR, my boyfriend disappears with sticks of butter into the bathroom. The butter is gone when he comes out, and he won't explain what he does. Okay, I've heard this story. I know where this story is going. I mean, guy brings butter into bathroom. Look. I think that this story is fake. I'm gonna make my points as to why I think it's fake, but I really do think it's fake. First, just in regards to this part of the story, where did the wrappers for the butter go? Okay, first off, where did the wrappers of the butter go? Like, she could have or OP could have went to the bathroom or found the wrappers of the butter to prove that he was doing that. And like, if she couldn't find the wrappers, where did they go, you know? Also, like, I just feel like this title is so sensational, or like such a thing people would click on, that like someone would make a fake story like this. And the thing is, it makes it even better and even more like people would jump on it, because it's like, oh, what is he doing with the butter? We have to know what he's doing with the butter. Blah, 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 blah. Like, I don't think there's any butter. I don't think there's any boyfriend, husband, whatever. I don't think this exists at all. But today I fucked up by confronting my boyfriend, who kept secretly bringing sticks of butter into the bathroom for an hour or more and coming out without the butter. First, I will admit I posted this earlier yesterday in the relationship forums. They removed it because, well, who knows? Maybe they thought it wasn't real. I get it. It's bizarre. I wish it wasn't real, but it is. I don't think it is, but this is really happening to me, and I'm in a state of astonishment. This morning I said, look, yes, you should buy private personal butter for your activities, but I said I need to know what you do with the butter. He got very quiet for a second and then said, fine, I'll tell you just this once. It says fine, you just this once, but and he told me everything. I was so mortified and confused. I cannot tell you what it is, but I will say it is a sensual activity, extremely sensual. It is definitely an inappropriate use of the butter. I cannot even type what it is due to how graphic it is. Yes, you could say this is why I think it's fake. I'm not done with the story yet, but this is why I think it's fake. She could say what he's doing with the butter. This is an anonymous forum. This is anonymous forum. She can say what it is. And there's literally Reddit pages that are like our sex or our nudes or whatever. There's like all that stuff. This is not like an SFW website. You could say what he's doing with the butter. There's nothing stopping her from saying what's going on with the butter, and the fact that she's just leaving it open to be like, oh, this is the worst thing you can think of, blah, blah, blah. Like, no. I want to know what's doing with the butter. No, this person, this possible AI thing, whatever's writing this, is leaving it open so that the brain goes to the worst case scenario. It would be so much easier if it just say what he's doing with the butter. I cannot even type what it is due to how graphic it is. On one hand, it's just butter, but on the other, I can no longer see him in the same way. I am staying at my parents'. To make matters worse, a friend of his found my other post and sent it to him saying, LOL, this must be about you. I guess he used to do it in college too, and he is furious, and now other people know IRL. Now other people I know IRL knows what he does with butter. No, you didn't say what he did with the butter, so how did they know through the Reddit? He's angry at me for exposing his butter-based proclivities. Now I have probably ruined my relationship and everyone knows my business, causing me shame and humiliation. I can't believe what he does with butter, though, and I don't think I can be somebody who does things like that. I don't think I can be with someone who does things like that. I consider it a momentous fuck-up for me to have ever confronted him about it. This is my mistake, because I can never unknow what I know. TLDR, I confronted my boyfriend and discovered the sensual activity he did with butter, and now our relationship is probably over. Oh, they deleted their account. Someone said on the original post that I finally found, buy him a bottle of lube and say, I can't believe it's not butter. So, that was the post I thought was fake. I still think it's fake. And, like, it's just written in such a, like, sensationalized, I think is the word, like, in a way that makes you want to figure out what the fuck is going on. And I think that makes it seem fake to me. That was our stories. I will be reading more. I'm gonna try and do more of these videos because they're pretty easy to film. It's just I'm lazy. And I've been really, really fixated on Pokemon lately. So if you get this far, leave your favorite Pokemon in the comments below. I will rate your decision 1 through 5 stars. Okay. Bye. See you later.